I'm a firm believer that you don't have to spend a lot of money to buy a great watch, one that has a reliable movement, nice polishing and brushing, and a well-made dial. These are 5 watch brands that sell watches for under $300 that are amazing quality. And I'm not just saying that to hype this video up, they truly are really incredible. But what do I know? I just make YouTube videos, so let me prove it to you. First up is a brand that makes really nice watches at an affordable price to the point where it really doesn't make sense for just how much watch you get for your money. The Proxima PX1697 is not just any average dive watch. The attention to details is the best I've seen on a watch, less than $300. The polishing and brushing is done to the T, the pearly white dial really pops thanks to it being enamel, and the stainless steel bracelet is more comfortable than any Seiko I've owned for sure. Just the right size at 39mm wide and 11.5mm thick, protected by a domed sapphire crystal and a ceramic bezel insert. For $260, you will have a hard time finding a watch that's made any better. Proxima also has another dive watch that looks different but equally as cool and has basically the same specs and build quality, including the enamel dial. The orange accents looks really good against the white, and the slightly blockier hands adds a cool style. A big reason why the brands we're looking at today, and micro brands in general, are able to offer watches with really great specs at an affordable price is because they don't have huge expenses. There's no rent for storefronts, no big marketing budgets, and no distributors that need to make their profit. Buying direct from the source helps keep costs low, and that's a win for us. The second watch is a solid all-around performer and a great everyday watch available in a variety of colors, the IXDAO Engineer. From the case and the bezel to the dial and integrated bracelet, the watch has that cool factor and build quality to match. The textured waffle pattern on the dial is a nice detail, and the color options all look really good. One for each day of the week would work really well. The dimensions are just about perfect at 39.5mm by 10.9mm in thickness. Priced at $250. The brand also makes a dive watch that looks super cool with the 5303. Available in my favorite colors, black, white, and blue. The design is super sporty with a little bit of retro. It looks great without the crown guards, and the broad arrow hand is a cool touch. 40mm by 13mm, a sapphire crystal, and 200 meters of water resistance, and priced at $250. Next up is a brand called Baltany, who makes a variety of really cool quartz and automatic vintage-inspired watches. The 1926 is one of my favorites with the square case and oversized crown. There's something really charming about the watch, and the dimensions make for a very comfortable size. 36mm wide and 8.8mm thick. The white dial, Arabic numerals, blue accented hands, and small second subdial works perfectly together. I also really like Baltany's quartz chronograph that has a lot of vintage charm as well. Looks super classy but still sporty. Not large at all for a chrono, coming in at 39 by 13, so it sits comfortably. Protected by a sapphire crystal and powered by a Seiko VK64 Mecha-Quartz movement, for under $150, you can't go wrong. The next brand makes really cool and stylish watches, and no one would ever think that they cost less than $200. Kronos. Their GMT has a very familiar design, but let's be honest, at this point, most watches do. The build quality is top-notch and checks all the boxes. Dome sapphire crystal, reliable automatic movement, a nicely detailed textured wave pattern dial in either black or white, and a really comfortable fully brushed bracelet with the push-button milled clasp. The lume is bright, the red GMT hands and red dial text adds a nice splash of color. There really isn't anything not to like about this watch, especially its $200 price tag. If a GMT isn't really your thing, they also make a really cool Explorer field-style watch that is just as well made with the classy glossy dial, 369 numerals, and polished bezel. The DX Kronos comes in a variety of colors that all look really great and priced at $185. Last but definitely not least is a watch brand many of you have probably heard of and even tried, San Martin. This is the brand that completely made me rethink how I view watches, especially luxury brands. I own a Rolex Submariner, which costs a dumb amount of money, and when I compare it to a $150 San Martin, I find it very difficult to justify the Rolex price tag. It's definitely not 4,000% better, and to make a long story short, if you've never tried San Martin, you definitely should. A couple standouts are two 39mm watches, the Adventure Gemstone Dial GMT, and the Gada Desert Texture Dial Classic 3-hander. Both watches have some serious details and quality that you could see from 10 feet away. San Martin has been around a long time, and the reviews and customer satisfaction truly speaks for itself. The Desert Texture Dial has a gradient effect where it darkens towards the edges and reminds me a lot of Grand Seiko Dial. Is it as good? Not exactly, but it comes really close and only costs $250 as opposed to $5,000. The Gemstone Dial GMT is equally as nice and looks great in photos, but even better in person. It's priced at $350. Both watches come equipped on a stainless steel bracelet that is incredibly comfortable and really well made, and I say that from personal experience. San Martin is the real deal.